In the shadowed corridors of history, where empires rise from the ashes of betrayal, stands a truth as unyielding as the Colosseum. When the world turns its back on you, it hands you the keys to your own kingdom. Imagine yourself on a windswept cliff, the roar of the ocean below mirroring the chaos of doubt and desertion around you. Everyone has fled, friends, allies, even the echoes of encouragement. Yet in this very void, Machiavelli whispers a revelation. Isolation is not your prison, it is your forge. From the pages of The Prince, we draw the essence of transforming abandonment into an unbreakable advantage, not through cunning shadows, but through the radiant fire of self-mastery. This is your Odyssey, a motivational ascent where solitude becomes the catalyst for unparalleled success. Consider the profound irony. In a world obsessed with networks and alliances, true power blooms in the absence of crutches. When no one believes in you, the weight of expectation lifts, granting you freedom to innovate without the chains of compromise. Machiavelli observed that princes who relied on others often crumbled under the fickle tides of loyalty. But you stand alone, unburdened. This zero support is your advantage because it strips away illusions. No more diluted visions tainted by others, fears or agendas. Your path clears, sharp and singular, like a blade forged in solitude. Think of the great inventors, the visionary leaders who birthed revolutions in quiet rooms, Edison toiling through failures, or Curie defying skepticism in her lab. Their isolation wasn't a curse, it was the crucible that purified their genius. To harness this, begin with the principle of radical self-reliance. Machiavelli taught that fortune favors the bold who seize control, not those who wait for handouts. Cultivate an inner reservoir of resilience. Start each day with a ritual of affirmation. Visualize your goals as inevitable conquests, not distant dreams. When doubt creeps in, and it will, like mist over a battlefield, counter it with action. Break your ambitions into siege-like steps, small, strategic advances that build momentum. No support means no distractions. Use this to dive deep into mastery. Read voraciously, not for approval, but for armament. Study fields that intersect with your passion, psychology for understanding human motivations, strategy for outmaneuvering obstacles. This isn't about manipulation, it's about enlightened navigation, turning the currents of life to your favor. Yet the epic tone of your journey demands more. Weaponize solitude by reframing betrayal as a gift. When allies abandon you, they reveal their unreliability, sparing you future pitfalls. Machiavelli's wisdom here is uplifting. Betrayal sharpens your discernment. Learn to spot true value in people, not through suspicion, but through wise observation. Engage in reflective journaling. Chronicle past desertions, not with bitterness, but with gratitude for the lessons. This stoic approach, blended with Machiavellian insight, builds an emotional fortress. Isolation teaches empathy for your own struggles, fostering a compassion that radiates strength. You're not alone in loneliness. History's titans walked this path. Alexander the Great, orphaned young, conquered worlds by trusting his instincts over courtiers' whispers. As you rise, incorporate dark psychology not as deception, but as intelligent self-protection. Understand that people's doubts often stem from their own insecurities, mirror neurons firing envy or fear. Respond not with retaliation, but with poised indifference. Let your progress speak, a silent thunder that drowns out naysayers. This tactic empowers you. By not seeking validation, you deny others power over your spirit. In moments of profound aloneness, draw on stoic wisdom, Seneca's reminder that we are born alone and must face ourselves. Meditate in silence, building mental endurance like a warrior training for battle. Visualize abandonment as a rite of passage, emerging stronger, more attuned to your inner compass. Finally, remember, succeeding with zero support isn't survival, it's sovereignty. Machiavelli's prince thrives by adapting, not lamenting. Turn your solitude into a symphony of self-discovery. Network inwardly, align mind, body, and spirit. Exercise rigorously to channel energy, eat nourishingly to fuel clarity. This foundation propels you forward. You've been handed the canvas of isolation. Paint it with bold strokes of determination. The world may have abandoned you, but in doing so, it set you free. Rise, for your empire awaits, not built on others' shoulders, but on the unshakable ground of your own resolve. Picture this, a lone wolf atop a mountain peak, surveying a vast, unforgiving wilderness below. The pack has scattered, driven by storms of doubt and self-interest. Yet the wolf doesn't howl in despair. It adapts, thrives, becomes legend. This is the essence of Machiavelli's timeless blueprint from The Prince. Self-reliance not as a grim necessity, but as an exhilarating empowerment. When the winds of abandonment howl and belief in you fades like morning mist, seize this moment to forge an inner dominion. Here we unveil principles that elevate isolation from burden to boon, crafting an uplifting narrative of triumph through intelligent resolve. Your journey isn't about outwitting shadows, it's about illuminating your path with the light of personal sovereignty. At the heart of Machiavellian self-reliance lies the recognition that dependence is the true vulnerability. Princes who lean on others invite collapse. Those who stand firm command destiny. Translate this to your life. Zero support sharpens your senses, forcing innovation where comfort once dulled edges. Embrace it as an advantage. Without external props, your creativity soars unbound. Recall how Steve Jobs, ousted from his own company, used exile to reinvent himself, birthing Pixar and a renewed Apple. His solitude wasn't defeat, it was rebirth. Begin by auditing your dependencies. Identify habits or relationships that sap your autonomy. Replace them with self-sustaining practices. Set audacious goals, not for applause, but for the thrill of conquest. Break them into tactical maneuvers, daily rituals that accumulate like compound interest on your spirit. Machiavelli's principles demand proactive adaptation. Fortune, he said, is a river. Dam it with preparation. In abandonment, build your dams through knowledge and skill. Dive into lifelong learning. Master tools of your trade, from digital platforms to interpersonal dynamics, not to control others, but to navigate life's terrain with grace. This smart approach captivates because it's empowering. Psychology reveals that autonomy boosts dopamine, fueling motivation. When doubts assail, counter with evidence-based affirmations. Track small wins in a victory log, a testament to your progress. This isn't deception, it's strategic self-encouragement, turning inner dialogue from critic to ally. To succeed amid skepticism, cultivate discernment as your shield. Machiavelli advised princes to appear virtuous while being astute. Frame this upliftingly. Project confidence not as facade, but as genuine self-belief radiating outward. Body language matters. Stand tall, speak with conviction, even in solitude. Practice oratory alone, honing messages that inspire your own resolve. When isolation bites, integrate stoic elements. Epictetus taught, focusing on what's within our control. Let go of others' opinions, their fleeting winds. Instead, channel energy into value creation. Write, create, innovate. Your output becomes your ambassador, drawing eventual allies not through begging, but through undeniable excellence. Dark psychology, reframed as enlightened tactics, offers tools for rising alone. Understand cognitive biases. People doubt the unconventional because it threatens their status quo. Use this knowledge to anticipate resistance, not manipulate, but to persevere wisely. Employ mental reframing. View betrayal as evolutionary pruning, removing weak branches for stronger growth. This mindset shift is motivational magic. Studies show optimism correlates with resilience. In quiet moments, visualize scenarios of success, scripting responses to challenges. Build a personal code. Integrity in action, flexibility in method. Machiavelli's fox and lion, cunning and strength become your metaphors for agility and power, not trickery. Uplift your epic saga by weaving community inwardly. Though alone, connect with historical mentors through books, Machiavelli himself, or modern echoes like Ryan Holiday's Stoic interpretations. Journal epiphanies, turning solitude into dialogue with your higher self. Physically, fortify. Rigorous routines build endorphins, combating isolation's fog. Nutrition, sleep, movement, these are your allies in dominion. As you apply these principles, watch abandonment morph into advantage. Doubters become footnotes, your story, the headline. Forge ahead, for self-reliance isn't isolation, it's illumination. Envision a phoenix, wings scorched by the flames of betrayal, plummeting into oblivion. But in the depths of ash it stirs, reborn fiercer, its flight a defiance of gravity itself. This is your metaphor when the world abandons you, when echoes of disbelief ring hollow in empty halls. Drawing from Machiavelli's ruthless yet profound insights in The Prince, blended with stoic endurance, we chart a course for resurrection. Zero support? It's the spark that ignites your ascent. This chapter captivates with an epic uplift, transforms solitude into supremacy, not through veiled arts, but through the smart alchemy of inner strength and strategic wisdom. Your isolation ends not in defeat, but in dominion, a motivational beacon for all who dare to rise alone. Why is no support an advantage? Because it compels reinvention, unfiltered by others' limitations. Machiavelli knew that alliances often breed complacency. Solitude demands excellence. When everyone doubts, their skepticism becomes fuel, proof you're charting unexplored territories. History abounds with examples. J.K. Rowling, rejected endlessly, wove her magic in cafes of isolation, birthing a wizarding empire. Embrace this. Reframe doubt as external noise, irrelevant to your core mission. Start with mindfulness. Daily meditations to center your resolve, visualizing doubt as words dissolving like smoke. This stoic practice builds mental armor, turning vulnerability into vitality. Machiavelli's self-reliance principles shine here. Be the architect of your fate. In abandonment, blueprint your empire with precision. Set milestones as conquests, measurable, motivating. No cheers? Celebrate internally. Reward progress with personal rituals, like a quiet toast to tenacity. This smart tactic sustains momentum, psychology affirming that intrinsic rewards outlast external praise. When isolation looms, counter with purposeful action. Network virtually through forums or courses, not seeking aid but absorbing wisdom. Understand human dynamics not to exploit, but to anticipate. Empathy as your edge, recognizing that betrayers act from their own frailties. Succeeding amid doubt requires tactical poise. Machiavelli urged adaptability, apply it upliftingly. Pivot from setbacks with grace, learning from each as a masterclass. Journal failures not as wounds, but as wisdom scrolls. This camouflages resilience as enlightenment, dark psychology reframed. Cognitive dissonance in doubters arises from your unyielding rise. Respond with composure. Let achievements erode their skepticism organically. Integrate stoic wisdom. Marcus Aurelius' imperative to act justly, regardless of audience. In solitude, this breeds authenticity, captivating because it's rare. Build habits that fortify. Read philosophy nightly, exercise to exercise despair, nourish body and mind for peak performance. Overcoming isolation demands epic strategies. Weaponize it by creating inner alliances, affirmations, visualizations, a personal manifesto echoing Machiavelli's call to boldness. When betrayal stings, practice forgiveness, not for them, but for your peace. Releasing grudges frees energy for ascent. This isn't deception, it's liberation. Draw on community echoes, online stoic groups or Machiavellian analyses, inspiring without dependence. Turn abandonment into adventure, explore new skills, hobbies that spark joy amid aloneness. Finally, the Phoenix's flight. Your success story unfolds as testament to these principles. Zero support morphs into self-generated power, doubts into dust. Machiavelli's legacy uplifts, true princes rule themselves first. As you apply this, feel the transformation. Isolation becomes incubation, birthing a version of you unbreakable, inspirational. This journey isn't shadowed paths, it's a radiant trailblazing. Rise from the ashes, for your wings forged in fire will carry you to heights unseen. The world may have left you, but you found yourself, and therein lies infinite victory.